Now, prior to the game today, the Rams won probably their biggest game of the season when they went into Arizona and they took down the division leaders in the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I had a chance to sit down with the one and only Nick Hamilton, who talked about the big additions the Rams have made in Von Miller and Odell Beckham Jr. And we talked about how these players are really complementing head coach Sean McVay's offense, defense, and entire game plan. Welcome to Playing the Field on the Road. I am Maria Serrao. I am joined today by Nick Hamilton. Nick, thanks so much for being with us today.
Hey, well, thank you for having me. I'm honored.
It has been an exciting 2 weeks for our Los Angeles Rams. It's a big Monday night football game tonight right here at Levi Stadium against the 49ers, who they don't really have a winning record against, Nick. You know that, right?
Yeah, unfortunately they don't. I mean, the last couple of seasons have been brutal for the Rams, not just physically, but mentally.
Right, and of course Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan, very good friends, so I think that there's always a bit of a competition going on with them as well.
Oh, absolutely. It's iron sharpens iron almost. I mean, these guys, they want to win. It's a division game.
Huge.
It's a franchise rivalry game. So it's definitely a lot on the line.
Now, here is the kicker. For the last 2 weeks, it has been explosion after explosion after explosion at the Los Angeles Rams. 2 weeks ago, Les Snead getting Von Miller out of Denver after all of those years, bringing him out to Los Angeles, where he loves to be, of course. So we've got Von Miller lined up against Aaron Donald. Now, I have been salivating, waiting to see this happen, Nick. How about you?
Oh, this is a dream come true. This is a Madden game. This is a cheat code, I like to call it, because this defense, especially in the interior, is going to be nasty. Nasty.
I mean, just think about Jalen Ramsey. You've got Leonard Floyd. I mean, this could just be set up to be the best defense. I mean, it would scare anybody across the way. There's no doubt.
I'm nervous. I'm sitting here. I'm not even playing. So you can only imagine what the 49ers are dealing with right now.
Exactly. And then, of course, the last few days, getting OBJ to the Rams. I mean, literally, we have to tell everybody the story where we're sitting there having a press conference with Sean McVay and our good friend Gary Klein from the Los Angeles Times asking him, you know, you brought in Von last week, you got OBJ this week. Is he coming in? And Sean McVay saying,
we'll see. I'm only focused on the 49ers. You know, he was smiling so much, he was cheesing like he just got his Christmas gift early. So we're like, okay, something's up.
Something was up because lo and behold, Odell Beckham Jr. is now a Los Angeles Ram. It's only been a few days, and I don't think originally he would have really been thrown in like he has been. And that unfortunate injury to Robert Woods is just so devastating.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the faces of Cooper Kupp. You even saw OBJ, who only been here less than 24 hours. You saw the devastation because Robert Woods is just that guy. He's so instrumental in the locker room, what he does on the field, and then the guys he galvanizes the troops, as they say. So when you look at Robert Woods, a SoCal guy, the guy played his college ball at USC, went to Buffalo, got traded back home, played for the Rams, and contributed in a significant way. Everybody focuses on Cooper Kupp, but the main guy, that's the glue in that wide receivers room, Robert
Woods. That's right. So everybody else is going to have to pick up the pace for sure. Now, when we had a chance to talk to OBJ, or Odell, as he wants to be called, so there's no more OBJ on Playing the Field. It's going to be O or Odell. I have to say, I was very touched by his warmth. He seems like a real sincere guy, and I wasn't sure because I had never met the man before the other day. But you had a great story that you asked him about, and that is his relationship with Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, I mean, I asked him about Kobe Bryant because I know he was a follower. He had been a supporter of Kobe up until, you know, his last days, unfortunately, on this earth, and what Kobe meant to him, and the story that he told as far as not just the tattoo on his abdomen, but the fact of what he embodied, the Mamba mentality, how he applied that, going through his ups and downs, dealing with an ACL tear, going through the rehab, going through the ups and downs of being traded from team to team. And so he gave a great story. It was a great comment, and I'm looking forward. I told you, you were skeptical.
I was skeptical.
But I told you, I said, OBJ is going to come and he's going to fit right in like a glove because he has to make this work. If it doesn't work, it's not on the Rams, it's on OBJ.
That's right.
Because he's playing for a new contract, and he wants to be with this team. The thing that stood out to me, Maria, the most is the fact that most players say, hey, man, just trade me, get me out of here, or I'm coming to this team. OBJ asked the guys in the locker room, do you want me here? To me, I think that gets glossed over so much. with everybody looking at his past, everybody looking at his immaturity. Yes, he was immature, but he was young. He was a young multimillionaire for the first time. He matured. He knows what he has to do now.
That's
and
right.
I think he's going to fit in really well with these Los Angeles Rams in that wide receiver room. And you got guys like Jalen Ramsey and Von Miller, guys who can keep him kind of in check, but also the other guys who hold him accountable outside of the coaches like Cooper Kupp, Van Jefferson, Matthew Stafford, and those guys. So I think Odell Beckham Jr. is going to come here and make a huge impact, and he might end up finishing his career here in Los Angeles.
As a Los Angeles Ram. And the greatest part of all of it is he talked to Cooper Kupp on the phone. Jalen called him. He threw the phone to Robert Woods. All of those guys bonded over a phone call. It was a game of telephone, if you will. And you know what? That is what really made his decision. And I think all of the guys thought, you know what, this guy will fit in with us, because we talked about we, not me, and that is a real thing at the Los Angeles Rams, and Cooper Kupp was very vocal about that with us. So before we go, we want to throw it over to Odell Beckham Jr. so you can see the interview that we did with him the other day. So let's take a look.
It's been a whirlwind, a whirlwind of emotions. Sometimes things don't work out in life, and when you take those leaps of faith, it's always scary at the moment. You kind of just trust in God's plan. You keep putting a step in front of the other one and just keep walking forward in faith. And things usually tend to work out. So it's been pretty crazy. It's been a pretty crazy last 10 days or so for me, but I'm just blessed and happy to be here right now.
How does it feel to be fitting in with everybody here?
Definitely the new kid on the block, the new kid at school, and not to say I don't have any friends, but you start to introduce yourself and you get to meet everyone. I got some familiar faces here. Vaughn is a brother of mine. Jalen, there's a bunch of guys here that I've already known. So just trying to focus on the moment, the present, and just find a way to be the best help to this team, best teammate, best player that I can possibly be.
Talked about your fantastic work ethic and what you bring to the game, but also too, you are also a follower of Kobe Bryant and respect to Kobe Bryant, that Mamba mentality. How does that help you day in and day out, going through ups and downs, to keep you focused and keep you performing at your best?
I got Kobe tatted on my ribs. It's something that forever a legend, and just his mentality, the way that he approached each and every day. Watching the muse and all of the things, the words that he spoke out of his mouth are just truly a testament to what he showed us all. So it's just about finding ways to dig deep, like when you've been through ACL, this surgery, whatever it is you're going through, to just find ways to dig deep and continue to work, man, and get better and to perfect your craft.
You talked about being a muse, but you also a muse to a lot of young kids, especially those in the black community, who are looking up to you and what you've been able to achieve. What message do you have for them, and what do you say to them as you continue on your journey here in Los Angeles?
I'm still learning. I'm still always evolving. But my message to those kids is, bro, if you have something that you love and you desire, not like any motivational speech, but like just straight up, like go get it. Because everything's out in front of you. You can do pretty much anything you set your mind to. It's just about chasing that dream day by day, putting in the work, and really staying focused and locked in on it.
What's that like to come out, the excitement of your first day practicing, and Robert Woods, suffers a season-ending knee?
Everything felt right about coming here except that moment, This is a guy who called me on the phone on FaceTime, and we shared words and just how excited we were to work together, and for me to be able to learn from him. And it's just, I have no words for it. It was like disheartening when I got the call. I don't have many words for it. I know that he was the heart and soul of this team, and just kind of trying to do whatever I can to help. Those are big shoes to fill, but do whatever I can to help. My heart goes out to him. I've been through the process, and it's just crazy. It just kind of reminds you, like, never take life for granted, because things split second, and things can change. So my prayers go out to him, and just staying strong mentally during that time. I've been through it, and I know what it's like, and it just, something about it just doesn't feel right. Right now, just taking it, minute by minute, hour by hour. Never been to a different team in the middle of a season, and guys have been through training camp, you've bonded, you've come together as a team. So it's definitely a different feeling, but, we're all pros, and I just have to be a pro in this situation and find ways to get acclimated and get the plays and everything down as fast as I can and do the best to help this team find ways to win.
As I said, you were right. I think he's very sincere. I liked his warmth, his demeanor. But my big question to you now, Nick, is this. The Rams will have a bye week next week, and I know if Sean McVay had had his way, he would have waited for Vaughn and he would have waited for Odell, gave him that extra week, but they just don't have it now. Both those guys have to play. Is it realistic to think that they can get everything learned that quickly?
I don't think so much it's about getting things learned that quickly. I think it's just getting a few things down pat, being comfortable within the offense, and for Von Miller, obviously, in the defense.
Yeah.
Understanding what Raheem Morris is asking of him,
Right.
being that he has to learn a brand new system, guys coming off an ankle injury, so they're going to be very cautious and careful with him because they brought him in for the macro, not the micro, which is to get to the playoffs, have a deep playoff run, and make it to the Super Bowl at SoFi in February. So same thing with OBJ. I think you got to look at that. They're going to look at how many plays they can give him, what he's comfortable with, and it's great that he does have a bye because then you got a couple of weeks to kind of get acclimated, and then they go to a tough place, the frozen tundra, better known as Green Bay.
That's it. And you know what? I don't think those guys are going on vacation. I think they're going to be at that at practice every day, learning that playbook and really getting a feel for it. And we know Cooper Kupp will be there too because the guy always works.
Absolutely. Him and Van Jefferson, too.
That's true. Oh, yes, absolutely.
And can't forget my man Tyler Higbee. Come on, we don't show no love to Higbee?
Probably all of them. What are you talking about? There isn't going to be any kind of vacation during this bye week. I can almost promise you that. All right, Nick, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. I sure appreciate it.
Thank you, Maria, for having me. Appreciate it.
Last week, take us through that. Is that something is that an original or is something you've been doing?
So it's just an original. Pretty much everything I do is original, but it's just some Call of Duty, and kind of sometimes you get down in life, and it's always good to have a self-revive. So I had to go ahead and use the self-revive, get back up, just having fun.
Do you rehearse things like that in the house, or do you just pop up?
I remember I told someone before the game, I called him, I was like, man, what should I do when I score today? Because I know I was going to score. And it's something I used to do a lot when I was in New York. I remember